All right, diving in today with Lord Ganesha. We got a bunch of documentary excerpts you sent over, and, well, everyone wants to know more about Ganesha, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's super popular.
It's not just Hindus, it's like everyone loves this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Elephant head, rides a mouse, uses his broken tusk to write. It's like, what even is this?
Well, I think to really get him, we got to start with the origin story.
Okay, hit me. Origin stories are the best.
So we've got the goddess Parvati, Shiva's wife, right?
Right.
She makes Ganesha out of turmeric paste.
Turmeric paste.
Yeah. To like guard her door while she's bathing.
Okay.
Shiva comes home, doesn't know about this whole turmeric paste guardian situation.
Wait, turmeric paste kid guarding the door, and Shiva has no idea?
Yeah. And, well, things get a little messy.
Oh, I bet.
This is where the symbolism starts, that turmeric form Parvati made, like raw human potential. Then Shiva, he takes off Ganesha's head. Tragic, but also it's about shedding the ego,
Oh.
Then Shiva replaces it with an elephant's head. Bam, higher consciousness.
Okay, so it's not just a cool look, it's about transformation.
Right.
But hold on, isn't Ganesha supposed to be the obstacle remover? And he's like creating one for Shiva.
Ooh, I like that. You're catching on. It kind of foreshadows his role, right? He's always challenging others, making them question things so they can grow, even the gods.
Yeah, even the gods make mistakes, right?
Exactly. So elephant head. It's wise, strong, but gentle too. Then those huge ears, deep listening, tiny eyes, focus.
It's interesting, right? You've got this mighty elephant, but he rides a mouse. It's all these opposites together. Like, what's the deal with that mouse anyway?
The mouse, our desires, right? And Ganesha's on top of it. He shows us how to control those desires, big or small. Even with that powerful head, he still picks the mouse.
Man, that's a good one for today. Everything's so distracting now.
Right, always telling us what we want.
Ganesha on the mouse, like, nope, stay focused.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm guessing there are like tons more stories with this guy.
Oh yeah, it gets even better. So many tales. And each one adds to who he is, what he teaches.
Okay, what else you got? I'm ready.
So we know he removes obstacles, right? But he's also the gatekeeper up on Mount Kailash, Shiva and Parvati's place.
All right.
He's not just removing stuff, he's guarding the entrance to like the divine realm itself.
That's a powerful image.
Protecting the sacred spaces.
Yeah.
He's a problem solver, but a guardian too.
What else does he do?
Well, there's the scribe thing. For the Mahabharata, that epic story,
Oh, yeah.
the sage Vyasa, he needed someone to write it all down, no stopping as he's reciting.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of writing.
Ganesha said, sure, but you can't pause, not even to breathe.
That's intense. And we all know how writers hate to be interrupted.
Well, guess what? The quill breaks.
Oh.
Ganesha just snaps off his own tusk and keeps writing.
He used his tusk as a pen.
Talk about dedication.
Wow. Committed to knowledge. Not just writing down the story, but like the length you go to for wisdom. He's like, sacrifice a part of yourself if you have to, but get it done. Though you'd think the god of wisdom would have like a backup quill or something.
It goes deeper than just practicality, It's the sacrifice for real knowledge. And don't forget, Ganesha's also about teaching humility. Remember that moon story? He curses the moon god Chandra for laughing at it.
Oh, right, that. Honestly, it always made me wonder about Ganesha's temper. Isn't he supposed to be all benevolent and helpful? Doesn't cursing the moon seem kind of, I don't know, vengeful?
It's all about context. Yeah, he's good, but he's also keeping the cosmic order. Even the harsh stuff has a purpose. That moon curse, it was a lesson. Humility, even for the gods.
Good reminder for us to know is that important, right?
Exactly. But let's switch gears a bit. So we've got Ganesha the guardian, the scribe, the humility teacher. What about the problem solver part? Like, how does he actually do that? What makes him so good at it?
That is a good question.
The interesting thing is, he doesn't always just use force. He's strategic, smart, clever. He uses his brain.
So it's not always about power. It's about using your wits.
Totally. He's like the ultimate chess player, always thinking ahead. Remember that competition with his brother, Kartikeya? They were supposed to race around the world 3 times.
Oh, right. I think I've heard of that one.
Kartikeya takes off on his peacock super fast. But Ganesha, he just circles his parents, says, they are my world.
That is so clever.
Right. It's all about perspective, seeing the big picture. Sometimes the obvious solution isn't the right one.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's a lesson for today, too, with all our problems. We got to step back, look at things differently, find solutions that work for our world.
This is great stuff. But I'm thinking, if he's such a pro at this, can we actually learn from his methods?
Yeah.
Like, how do I apply that to my overflowing email inbox or whatever?
Now that is a fantastic question, and one we should definitely explore further.
Okay, challenge accepted.
Get ready to put on those problem-solving hats.
I am. But before we go full problem solver mode, there's one thing I gotta ask about the festivals.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Ganesh Chaturthi.
Yeah.
The 10-day one, right?
Yes.
It's his birthday party, essentially.
Yeah.
What's What's the big deal with this one? How does it connect to all his teachings?
Oh, Ganesh Chaturthi is amazing. It's like the best example of how popular he is and how he brings people together, which actually is where history gets really interesting. Back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, there was this Indian freedom fighter, Lokmanya Tilak.
Okay.
He used Ganesh Chaturthi to fight the British.
Hold on. A religious festival is also a political tool?
Exactly. Tilak saw how everyone loved Ganesha, so he used the festival to bring people together. No matter who they were, they could celebrate together, like a shared identity, a way to resist.
Wow, so Ganesha's whole message about unity, problem solving, it's being put into action, on a huge E-scale.
Right, and that unity, it's still there today. During Ganesh Chaturthi, you see these giant statues of Ganesha, parades, music, dancing, rituals. It's like a sensory overload.
That sounds awesome. But with a festival that big, doesn't it hurt the environment? With all those statues ending up in the water.
You're right to ask that. And luckily, people are thinking about it more now. You see a lot more eco-friendly Ganesha statues, made from natural stuff that breaks down easily.
So they're adapting old traditions to fit modern problems, like Ganesha himself, always changing and adapting.
Yeah, exactly. But Ganesh Chaturthi is just one way people celebrate him. There are temples all over, in India, Southeast Asia, each one with its own story and style. And the way people worship him is so different too, from daily things to huge festivals all year round.
I'm getting the urge to go on a pilgrimage, see all these different sides of Ganesha. Speaking of which, have you heard of the Ashtavinayak Yatra in Maharashtra?
Mm-hmm.
You visit 8 different temples, each with its own Ganesha form. What's up with that one?
Oh, it's a beautiful journey. Physically and spiritually, you get to connect with all these different sides of Ganesha, all these different stories and blessings. It shows how his story just keeps inspiring people for centuries.
It's wild how one deity can inspire so much art, worship, everything. It makes me wonder, how has Ganesha been shown in art and literature over time? Has his image changed much?
Oh, definitely. That's a question that needs its own deep dive. From ancient carvings to modern art, he's been an inspiration for, everyone. His story, the symbols, his whole image. It goes beyond time, beyond cultures. Every generation finds something new in him.
We've got a lot more to uncover then. Get ready for part 2 of our Ganesha deep dive. We're going to explore the world of art, literature, and his amazing legacy. Welcome back to our Ganesha deep dive. We've covered the myth, the symbolism, even Ganesha as a political figure. But now I want to get practical. If he's this master problem solver, what can we learn from him, for our own WN lives?
That's where Ganesha gets really relevant for us today. Remember how he circled his parents instead of racing around the world?
Right. He was all about thinking outside the box. But how does that help with, my crazy inbox or deadlines at work?
It's about understanding the obstacle, like Ganesha did. Instead of freaking out about all those emails, pause, like he did. Maybe there's a different way to do things.
Okay, so not just powering through, but being strategic.
Yeah, what if you prioritize those emails? Or set boundaries so you have time and energy?
So it's not about brute force, it's about outsmarting the problem.
Exactly, and sometimes it's about knowing when to get help. Just like Ganesha, riding the mouse. His strength doesn't go away because he's on a mouse, it actually helps him.
Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Right, but what about those huge E-problems, the ones that feel impossible? What does Ganesha say about those?
Well, his whole story is about overcoming the impossible. He was beheaded.
Yeah, that's a pretty big obstacle.
But he was reborn, transformed, even wiser, even stronger. He's saying those obstacles, even the awful ones, they can make you grow.
Man, that's powerful. Obstacles aren't the end, they're like opportunities.
Exactly. And remember the broken tusk. He turns that loss into something incredible.
It's like losing something doesn't mean failing. It could be the start of something new.
Yeah.
Okay, but back to today. We're drowning in information, distractions everywhere. How did Ganesha's teachings help with that?
Think about those big ears. They mean deep listening, tuning out the noise, focusing on what's important.
So we're not cutting ourselves off from everything,
Yeah.
but we're being careful about what we let in.
Right. And those small eyes, focus, seeing past the surface. In a world full of clickbait and trends, we need to see the real stuff.
It's like Ganesha is giving us permission to unfollow, unsubscribe, whatever. Protect our mental space. Choose quality over quantity.
Exactly. And the world is so fast now, easy to get swept up in the chaos, forget what matters. But Ganesha, he's all relaxed, one leg folded, the other on the ground.
He's like, chill out, everyone.
He's all about balance, inner peace, A&D, engaging with the world.
But how do we do that? Everyone's saying hustle, be productive all the time.
That's where ritual and celebration come in. Think about Ganesh Chaturthi, that energy. It reminds us to make space for joy, connection, the things that matter. It doesn't have to be a huge festival. Even small rituals every day can help you slow down, Be intentional.
Find those moments of peace, whether it's meditating, being in nature, or just having dinner with people you care about.
Right. It's a rhythm for life that works for both your inner and outer world. And remember, Ganesha loves those contradictions. He removes obstacles, but he also puts them there to make you grow. He's wise, but breaks his tusk to get things done. Life isn't about easy answers, you know. It's about figuring things out with wisdom, AD heart.
He's like the ultimate life coach, but with an elephant head and a sense of humor.
Yeah, and his story tells us even when things are hard, there's still joy, creativity, maybe even a little divine intervention.
That's awesome. It makes you feel like no matter how stuck you get, Ganesha's there, cheering you on, reminding you to find that clever solution, have some fun along the way. But speaking of journeys, we haven't even touched on Ganesha in art. How's he been portrayed throughout history? Has his image changed much?
That's where we're headed next. Get ready for some serious visual inspiration.
All right, back for more Ganesha. We've got the myths, the symbolism, even Ganesha the problem solver. Now I'm ready for the art. Like, how has he been shown throughout history? Do they always picture him the same way?
Ooh, get ready for a Ganesha art history crash course. Imagine going way back, ancient India. You'd see him in temple carvings, sculptures. That's from like the Gupta period, 4th to 6th century stuff.
Wow, those ancient temples, I can practically picture it. So what did those early images say about how people saw him?
They focused on the obstacle remover part, the blessing giver. He's all about kindness, wisdom, protection. Like he's this powerful god who can help you if you worship him.
So awe-inspiring, but also approachable.
Exactly. And as Indian art styles changed, so did Ganesha. You've got the colorful Rajasthani miniatures, those detailed paintings, or the Madhubani art from Bihar with those bold lines and figures. Each region adds its own style, showing how diverse Indian art is.
It's like this whole tapestry of devotion, right? Woven from different styles, different places. But it's more than just being pretty, isn't it? Do those choices tell us something about how each region sees Ganesha?
You got it. The art often matches the local stories, the specific way they see him in that place. Like down south, where he's Pulayar, they really show his playful side. He's the protector of kids.
That's cool. Even within one culture, there are all these different ways of seeing him. What about NAW, though? Modern art. I've seen some wild takes on Ganesha lately.
Oh, absolutely. He's a total muse for modern artists. You see abstract paintings, street art, digital stuff, bright colors, new materials, totally unexpected angles. It's all about reflecting what's happening in NAW, how we see things today.
It's like they're remixing this ancient god for the modern world.
Exactly. He's timeless. His message goes beyond any one time or place. But it's not just visual art, right? I feel like Ganesha is everywhere these days. Books, music, even memes. You're so right. Literature, music, film. He's got it all. There are kids' shows with his adventures, Bollywood songs asking for his blessings. He's wisdom, good luck, new beginnings, something for everyone.
They're really IS everywhere, like blending right into modern culture, not just in India, but globally.
It's amazing, isn't it? He just keeps evolving, connecting with each new generation. And that shows how universal his message is.
Totally. Doesn't matter if it's a carving from 1,000 years ago or a mural on a street corner. Ganesha's still inspiring us, reminding us to be wise, humble, find creative ways to handle life's curveballs.
It's the best part. His story shays us about change, bouncing back, facing those tough things with smarts AD heart. He's saying, even when it's hard, you can still find joy. Be creative. And maybe, just maybe, there's a little divine help out there.
This has been amazing. We've covered so much about Ganesha. It's like we went from his birth to modern art with him. But before we go, is there one last thing you'd want our listeners to remember?
Absolutely. The biggest takeaway. Ganesha's story is about transformation, resilience, tackling those obstacles with a mix of wisdom, A&D heart. It's a reminder that even when things are tough, you can still find joy. Get creative. And hey, sometimes the answer is right around the corner, waiting for you to discover it.
I love that. So to everyone listening, take a little bit of that Ganesha energy with you today. Face those challenges with a smile, find those moments of joy, and never underestimate the power of a little divine intervention.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Lord Ganesha. We'll see you next time, and until then, keep exploring.